The greatest fear that I have regarding the outcome for America of these disclosures is that nothing will change. People will see in the media all of these disclosures. They'll know the lengths that the government is going to grant themselves powers unilaterally to create greater control over American society and global society. But they won't be willing to take the risks necessarily to stand up and fight to change things, to force their representatives to actually take a stand in their interests. And the months ahead, the years ahead, it's only going to get worse.
Greetings, citizens of the world. We are anonymous. It has now been 1 year since Edward Snowden's revelations have illustrated to everyone the National Security Agency's true agenda by removing their shroud of secrecy. For our very basic human right of privacy to be taken from us is a dystopian future that we are looking toward if we do not act now. Throughout this time, nothing of any true consequence has come of his leaks, and the NSA is still just as powerful and exempt from repercussion as ever. While corrupt politicians have lined their own pockets by taking hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes to fulfill their financiers' wishes in securing profits for their militaristic surveillance tools, the rest of us are suffocating from these enormously wasteful expenditures and forced to work our lives away in this post-recession world, barely able to feed ourselves and our families, while the NSA's League of Profiteers reap millions. For humanity to see its future, it must destroy what holds it back, and abolishing the NSA is a crucial step forward to regain our freedoms. The ability to punish any dissenting voices' acts of terror, as leaks have revealed, are a testament to the true nature of this and to demonstrate to the rest of the world what happens when its legitimacy is questioned or challenged. Surveillance of the masses only serves to protect the privileged from the poor, but their anti-terrorism facade has been exposed, and we have before us a better opportunity than ever to capitalize upon this growing discontent among those aware of the repercussions of limitless data retention. November elections are but a few months away, and the time has come to take our government away from the agendas of the corporations that control it. This can only be done by you, as a citizen of your country, by being informed of who represents your true interests. It is up to you to research your candidates and make every vote count. Stand behind the candidates who have no financial ties to NSA affiliates, as they would most likely legislate against them. If we can assemble an anti-surveillance partnership of legislators, we can deconstruct the NSA and put its budget to better use. Use OpenSecrets.org to get a profile of candidates on the ballot for November's election and protest the ones refusing to defund the National Security Agency. Print our flyers and spread them around in your areas so that others will become aware of who has embedded themselves in their political future. Support the campaigns of candidates who would legislate against the NSA and protest against the ones who have accepted campaign donations from NSA affiliates at the voting locations. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Friends of our channel and YouTubers, welcome. Answers of an Alien from Andromeda, Video 118, June 28, 2014. Glad to be amongst you again. We had to go on relief mission to a zero-level colony, living in the 6th orbit of the site that you call Gliese 876. Which was almost extinct by an aggressive race of insectoid caught by surprise. Unfortunately, insectoid races are very hard to deal with. and most often they simply seize what they need without giving greatest satisfactions to anyone. But now the surviving communities are being reorganized with the help of celestial astronauts, as they call us. Friends, I cannot take photos or allow photos of anything that might cause undue social change for the moment. I've been called the attention for doing these social studies involving terrains, but I was not completely banned of it since I do not cross certain limits. Our imaging systems are not compatible with your systems. We use a technology that forms the images holographically at molecular levels without screens, impossible to be transformed for your type of images. We may forward mentally this information between us and other susceptible humanoids. An expert can even examine a patient from this type of holography, as it can open the patient and observe because the system shows not only the image but also everything inside it. I know it's hard to understand at the time, but the molecular holography molecularly actually copies the details throughout the design, as if it were your nuclear magnetic resonance that generates static sliced images, only that our systems produce the copy image of matter at the molecular level of the actual spatial positioning that is an exact copy of the internal and external subject matter involved in image form, all cells simultaneously at the molecular level. Well, let's stop talking about things that do not matter at the moment. About the questions being asked after CB put the video on the fact about the crew of your ship Columbia when it was destroyed by trying for the second time overthrow the satellite from Epsilon Buddhas in 2003. Possibly the Pleiades withdrew the crew by teleportation of organic matter before sending the message to your governments. As you can see, none of the bodies were seen floating near the wreckage. We do not have access to data on the military actions of the Pleiades, but this should have happened and these 7 people were now in their custody. Mythi, is true that a splinter group of the Pleiades decided to withdraw more than 10,000 cabal of the planet? According to information that happened on the 15th of this month of June. My friends, you do not know the Pleiadians. There is not and never will be dissidents for the crews participating in the control instituted for this planet. Currently everything on the planet is being monitored. I do not understand how some of you can imagine that this could happen, especially when it comes to protecting the least must be protected as your elites. What can I forward to you is that there has been a greater movement of ships between the colonies Reptiallians from Mars and your governments. Many of you may not accept or believe in the existence of Reptiallians and human mixed colonies on Mars, but someday not too far you will remember everything that I told you about. Mythi. Many are asking if something is happening to prevent the firing of rockets into operations in Earth orbit? Not directly. Any device containing nuclear material for military or scientific use, in case of being detected, will not be released for placement on your upper atmosphere. The damage has been done, resulting in the creation of 2 intermediate layers of radiation in the Van Allen belts, was the result of unqualified scientific experiments by your governments, and generated much more rigid guidelines to protect the planet as a whole. It will not do to insist on that. Pleiadians probes are in place at all key points of the planet. You see, my friends, everything that you see in this scientific context presented to the public is a reality created for you to continue at a controlled level of knowledge. In your call 70s, your governments had already placed a much more advanced space station orbiting Mars. That was where they planned the installation of settlement areas with technological assistance of some reptilian companies. What they keeps here is only one shut up for the pseudo-scientific community of your planet. The reality that you live here, it's a reality made specifically to cover an entire scientific activity hidden by a minority. Today more than 50,000 beings are on Mars, many working in a regime militarily controlled in the implementation of the infrastructure they have planned for this new colony administered by a consortium human reptilian. The Community Galactica is monitoring these activities, and the Reptilians will not pass military technologies to humans associated, as this would cause a direct intervention of forces far beyond what has all reptilian colonies united. I'm understanding the logic of the Community Galactica regarding postponing until now the major natural events that should have ravaged the planet. The elites are just like a fire that is extinguished for lack of control options, running out of oxygen to burn. Some great ships prevented disaster, intercepting solar extremely hazardous emissions. The Arcturians are still controlling some key points of the crust following guidelines changes defined above. The geomagnetic field of the planet is diffuse. Our ships sail by magnetic interaction, and the system adjusts all the time to keep up with this asynchronous balance of the magnetic core. Your geomagnetic poles have not moved yet dramatically due to the control being performed by large object hovering over the southern quadrant, but this energy link between the object and the core of the planet is somehow warming Antarctica inside out and may not be used for a longer period. This artificial object is rotating at the same speed of the planet and following its orbit and axial movement of the shaft, to have no influence on the orbital behavior towards the system. We do not know exactly what are the scientific plans of Community Galactica, but I will pass the information to you whenever I get acquainted. There were some changes in the course of events during this period that I've been out of the system, and following the trends of these changes seems they decided to put your elites against the wall. Friends, although not pleasing, all I have to say again, your religious novels were left as guidelines in figurative language to ensure a line of decency and behavior of communities of thousands of years ago. The novels were rewritten by various cultures adapted to their people. This so-called Book of Revelations is all figurative language. The sequence of events that determines the direction of a society is generated by its members and not by a descriptive novel of theological submissions. All of you are now in the process of conscientization and not submission to concepts imposed by a controlling minority and distorted by thousands of changes and additions. Conscientization is the key word. Conscientization that you are part of a universe full of life, and that the best teaching is that generated by knowledge and understanding from within the soul of each of us. Be all with the light and peace.
Hilarion.
June 22nd through the 29th, 2014, by Marlene Swetleshoff.
Beloved ones, there has been a great influx of the energy of love and compassion which has been directed from the hearts of many light workers around the world, as they join together in unity to bring about beneficent changes in the monetary systems of the earth, and within the hearts of humanity, and this energy has been magnified by the ascended realms as requested by many. As mentioned before, the changes occurring on Earth are wrought in peaceful ways that carry the higher vibrational impact in a vision that includes the intent that the changes must be for the highest good of all. The impetus of this activity will now filter down to effect changes within the hearts of those who have long controlled the world's systems in a self-serving way. When many are gathered together with focused intent for the highest good of all, there is nothing that can long delay the desired outcome. The creation of a new world is being intended by those who carry the spark of the Creator strongly within their hearts. These ones are remembering that this is a part of the mission they came to implement in voluntary service to the divine plan. They are realizing that change begins with their input and that they must take peaceful and loving action personally in order to bring these changes into manifestation. They understand that appearances as they play out are not what really is, and they maintain their higher vision. The qualities of faith, hope and determination can move mountains, and this will become more noticeable as the events envisioned come into manifestation in the everyday life of humanity. We of the ascended realms bow to all who work together in unity in these ways and encourage more efforts such as these to take place with regularity. The goddess energy is permeating the atmosphere of Earth and all her inhabitants, and this will affect humanity in surprising ways that will uplift the hearts of the majority of people on the planet. As greater balance of the divine feminine and masculine energies takes place within each soul, there will be balance in their outer world as well. The intent and desire to live in a peaceful and prosperous world will come into fruition for humanity. This vision is required to be maintained and affirmed each day by all who understand the power that they wield by such activity. Let them also understand that they do not stand alone in this effort, that many unseen forces are assisting and encouraging this work to continue. It is the inner thought processes of humanity that meld together to create their reality, and when more people realize this, the changes to their world will be phenomenal. It is most important to join minds to recreate a new type of civilization that will serve all upon the planet. As more people become governed by spirit, they begin to release and let go of all that has been holding them back from pursuing their dreams with passion. Their desires will be in alignment with their soul's natural inclinations, and they will begin to move into their best role in the new world that is being created. Each person will live each day by following their natural passions and that which brings them joy, and this will help in creating a synchronistic and harmonious lifestyle for each. There are as many paths to the new world as there are souls upon it, and all are needed in their communities as these come into manifestation. They must be open to sharing with others and helping each other share their particular gifts, as each is needed to contribute in the best way for all. As people in the new world are unfolding their inner capabilities, they are beginning to have a greater ability to discern the intentions of others and are able to more easily deflect these frequencies and energies from interfering with the direction they have set for themselves and their world. Keeping focus on their higher aspirations will ensure that only those who are in tune with their intentions can influence them, and many there are who awakening to the knowledge that they do not need governance by any external force as long as they follow their own soul's path. Each person is being guided to the highest contribution they can give to the collective of humanity to create a new and rewarding life for all humankind. The possibility of creating something beyond what has been dreamed of is now upon the people of Earth. It is a most exciting time to be a part of, and here you are, poised for takeoff. Until next week. I am Hyla.
Salusa, June 27, 2014. The changes continue to proceed as planned, and will bring about the anticipated changes that will bring you freedom from the activities of the Dark Ones. Their power and control carries less weight, and those who work for the light are gaining more confidence as each day passes. So much good work is taking place, and as it continues to spread, the Dark Ones find that they are having less and less influence. It is you, the people, that carry the responsibility for spreading the light, but we can assist where you have already made decisions to begin the process of change. Do not worry if at first progress appears to be slow, as momentous changes cannot be achieved overnight, and are more likely to be successful when care and attention are given. We oversee your work and at all times will do our best to guide you and ensure your success. More and more souls are awakening to their real selves and seeking more power to achieve their vision of permanent peace upon Earth. It will come and is already affecting decisions being made to prevent any future wars from taking place. The role of the light worker is to be inspired and bring more people to the realization that the future is taking shape, and the voices that have influence are no longer prepared to go along with those who advocate war to solve problems. At long last it is being realized that war is futile and that there are no winners, in the sense that all who are involved suffer loss of one kind or another. When you look back, you will realize that using war to achieve your aims is often short-lived. And at last there is an understanding that peaceful negotiation is the only way to solve differences. As you will find out in due course, wars are often contrived to set one against another, and neither benefit as a result. As time has passed, more and more people have tired of being used to settle differences, and now see that there are other ways which are far more acceptable. You are currently seeing the result of religious prejudice fuel the differences between some nations, and we wish we could get the message to them that you are all one. There is only one God of absolute love for all souls, regardless of their color or beliefs. However, there will come a time when it will be accepted that you are one race, with the same destiny and eternally loved by the one God of all. The elusive peace that you seek will first come to individuals who have accepted the oneness of all souls, and through them others will also follow. All knowledge is carried within, and those of you who feel particularly intuitive are able to measure the value and truthfulness of any message. There will, however, still be those who totally rely on others to walk the path with them. For them it is part of their necessary experience, and as they become more understanding of the truth of their real selves, they will gain the confidence to travel their own path. Often the changes are the result of many lives whereby they have tested their own beliefs and have moved on where they have been found wanting. As you stand at this time, you are represent the totality of your experience, and cannot help but be strongly influenced by it. There are, however, times when you will incarnate with a stronger attachment to certain beliefs that will give you a specific experience that you need. You are in fact much greater than you presently know, and whilst on earth you play out each role you have undertaken, which can greatly vary from one incarnation to another. You may have wondered what our beliefs are based upon, and whether we have what you know as organized religion. The simple answer is that we are sufficiently understanding of the truth and the one God, that we live by example and realize that every other soul is either our brother or sister. Therefore our love is extended to all souls, and even those of the darkness are seen as being exactly the same as all others. It must be so, as you have all come from the source of all that is, and undertaken your experiences so as to bring the truth to others. Where you are now, in the lower levels of vibration, you cannot become fully ascended and remain in them, so of necessity you only incarnate with a vibration that allows you to experience as chosen. We will also point out that this is why you must respect what other souls have chosen to experience, as it is all of value and will help others to evolve. Some souls have elected to serve on earth to help others, whilst the majority are traveling their paths as they work their way back to the higher dimensions. There is not, as you say, a quick fix, and the only positive way to evolve is through personal experience, although you can also learn from others who have gone before you. Mother Earth is also taking part in the changes, and these are of a grand scale to prepare for those that will change the very surface of the earth. Of necessity there will be unavoidable upheaval in some places, but you rest assured that every caution will be taken to avoid loss of life. Some are inevitable, but there are also souls that have expressed a desire to leave the earth. It may sound strange or unlikely that souls would choose to leave in such a way, but release from the physical body is instantaneous. Any trauma associated with such an experience is soon overcome and forgotten. Death as such is painless, but is often thought differently, and this is usually due to an accompanying illness. Understanding the truth of such an experience as death prevents what is otherwise looked upon by many as a traumatic time in your life. Be assured that as soon as you pass over, your loved ones will be there to greet you and make you welcome. Perhaps the most welcome surprise is that you are whole again, and through the power of thought can also become a young person again, full of health and without any of the problems you may have had whilst on earth. I am Salusa from Sirius, and have today touched upon life in the higher dimensions, which is far removed from what you have experienced upon Earth. Can you imagine an existence where within certain limitations you can hink things into existence? Therefore money is not needed. That is perhaps the most significant change, although as mentioned above, the prospect of permanent good health must be music to the ears of those who have had a life of ill health. You have so much to look forward to, so do your best while still on Earth. I leave you with my love and blessings. Thank you, Salusa, Mike Quincy.